So, I'd just like to say a really warm welcome to everybody that is joining us today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Susie Ashworth. I am co-founder of the Calm Birth School, which is the world's first video-based hypnobirthing school. Holly and myself are all about helping as many women as possible create calm and positive birth experiences. And I am absolutely delighted to introduce you to Naomi Wolfson for this week's masterclass. She is, well, God, she's loads of things. She is a hypnotherapist, a mindfulness teacher, an EFT practitioner, and a pregnancy, birth and fertility specialist. And today she is coming to really give us the lowdown on everything that is EFT. So I just want to say a really warm welcome to you, Naomi. It's great to be able to have you here.
Hello, thank you very much for inviting me.
Let's just dive straight in. What the hell is EFT?
Excellent. So some people might have heard of EFT just as tapping. So EFT is based using acupressure points. So it's the same energy system used in acupuncture, but instead of using needles and needing to go and see a practitioner, it's a self-help tool. So we just use our fingertips and tap on different acupressure points of our body. So once you know it, you can obviously, you've just got this toolbox at your fingertips. Whenever you need it, it's right there. And it's really beautiful because I find now that I tap automatically. So I'll just be sat tapping and my husband will be like, oh, what's the matter? And I'll be like, oh. I'll just be using it as a calming, it's very soothing technique. Hence sharing it with lots of pregnancy people will be fantastic.
So do you want to give us, should we rewind? What has been your journey to EFT? Yeah, why did you train as a practitioner?
Okay, so I was diagnosed with endometriosis in my teens. So I was told that a natural pregnancy was highly unlikely for me, that I would probably need treatment. So I knew that from, decades ago. And then when we were actually trying to conceive, I was very much like, no, I can do this naturally. I can sort out my diet and my lifestyle, etc., etc. And then we ended up trying for almost 4 years before getting pregnant. I'm now 6 months pregnant. So definitely can sort of vouch for all of these techniques as well. And I bought Emma Cannon's book, The Baby Making Bible, which was fantastic. And that explained this weird little technique where you tap on your face and your body while saying certain things. And I was like, oh, this is so bizarre, but let's just give it a go. And I started tapping on a lot of the fears I had, so like the fears of not getting pregnant, the fears of actually being pregnant. I had a massive, massive fear of birth. So I was tapping on all of these beliefs that I had. And things just started to shift. And things like my fear of birth that I thought was like set in stone for me. My mum had an extremely traumatic birth from my younger brother. So I've grown up with this story of, oh, my brother nearly killed my mum. So when I tapped on that and cleared this fear of birth, was suddenly like, this technique's really powerful. Like there's more to this than the book is obviously introducing. So went and trained purely from a kind of personal point of view, and then started sharing it with friends and doing it in the pub with people, and just thought, this is what I want to be spending my time doing. So yeah, I left my career in design and then trained as a hypnotherapist as well and mindfulness coach, and this is what I'm doing.
So with EFT, you can literally use it to clear fears, anxieties and worries about, in this case, you used it for pregnancy and birth and kind of throughout your fertility journey, but really for anything that you have any anxiety around.
Yeah, it's pretty much anything. So fear is purely caused by our thoughts. So we only know we're scared of something if we're physically experiencing fear in our bodies. So maybe butterflies in our stomach, maybe our heartbeat's going. But this is caused by our mind telling us that there's a danger and therefore telling our body to physically react. Whereas if our body didn't have any physical reactions, so say you were scared of spiders, you would know that because you'd feel scared. But if you remove the physical aspect of that fear, so when you looked at a spider, nothing physically happened, you wouldn't be scared, you'd just be thinking, oh, there's a spider. So that's what it's doing, is we're actually like clearing the thoughts we have around something, freeing up our freedom around something, and reducing that fear in our bodies. So then when we think something, instead of it being, so I'm worried about birth, then we might start feeling a bit panicked and our body would start feeling agitated. We can be using EFT just to lower our stress hormones and up our oxytocin and our serotonin and our endorphins, all of those hormones that we want as much as possible throughout pregnancy and labour. We can be doing that with EFT.
So the good thing about that is obviously we talk about the fight or flight response in the Calm Birth School course, and we talk about real or perceived dangers. And for every thought that we have, there is a corresponding physical and chemical response in our body. So the nice thing about this technique is not only can you use it in preparation for your birth experience if there are concerns there, but actually it sounds like it's a really great thing to use during labour if you are presented with a situation that is causing anxiety to rise. Actually, you can just start tapping on your acupressure points and help to reduce that anxiety quickly.
Yeah, it's also just really nice to use sort of hand in hand with your MP3s. So you could literally like just tapping on this point, even if you're feeling, fine, tapping on this point will then be the same. So they say you do like 20 minutes of meditation, you could tap for about 2 minutes to get your body in that same relaxed state. So it's like a kind of shortcut to sort of getting your body as relaxed as possible. So yeah, you can be, once you start tapping, if you get into it, you'll find you'll just tap just all the time, because there are a lot of natural things that we do. Like a lot of people will rub their hands if they're feeling nervous, and that's because our hands are covered in acupressure points. So a lot of people I teach this technique to, and they go, oh, I do that already. And it's because it's a natural response that we're already doing.
And I suppose it's working in a similar way to anchoring. Once you've done it a few times and the body knows that when she's tapping there, I feel relaxed because I'm releasing endorphins and I'm releasing oxytocin, it becomes almost shorter and shorter because, you've got that muscle memory there.
It's also part of it, I say to people, even if they're not interested in the sort of energy side of it and the meridians and sort of acupressure points, just the fact that you're recognizing that you're not feeling how you want to feel and that you're taking action to do something about it, that in itself, even if you hopped up and down on one leg, that in itself, you're empowering yourself and saying, I want to change how I feel. I'm setting the intention to change. I'm going to do something about it. So that in itself is developing that habit of going, I realize my thinking isn't helping me right now. What shall I do? I could tap, I could listen to an MP3, I could distract myself, I could ring a friend. It's another tool just to be getting you to realize that you hold the power, that you are in charge of what's going on in your mind.
Yeah. And how quickly can you make this change?
It can be, it is known, EFT is known for 1 minute wonders. So it can be as quick as you simply realize what you're thinking about, tap on it, and you clear it instantly. Obviously, with some things, if it's a belief you've held for years, maybe even a lifetime, it can take a lot longer, but it is a very quick therapy. And the fact that you can just use it yourself, it's not like you kind of store things up and then sort of really, you can be tapping whenever these thoughts come up. So you're kind of chipping away at things constantly rather than kind of putting things in a bag and building them up to then go and work on.
Yeah. And what's the difference, or what's the benefit of going to see a therapist rather than just doing the work yourself?
So I think mainly if you want to work on something really huge, so like for me with the fear of birth, I was tapping on my own, and then I did work with a practitioner to really get in there and get to the root of it, because it was kind of too scary for me to go on my own, because our unconscious mind is always trying to protect us. So if it is something really scary, you will find any old excuse not to open that door, not to look at it. And that's to keep us safe. But if it's something you need to clear, then that's when working with a practitioner is fantastic, because they can guide you through, and there are many different sort of aspects of the technique. It can be quite complex. So what we're going to do today is kind of the top level of what you can quickly be doing yourself and have amazing breakthroughs. But then if you see a therapist, they can obviously really take you deep and get to the real core of stuff if that feels too much on your own.
Okay, perfect. Well, I think maybe we should show people, give them like a little demo of how it works.
Excellent. Okay, so I thought we'd do some tapping, just sort of on general sort of nerves about upcoming labour, because I imagine the majority of people watching are getting probably quite close. They've probably got a couple of months or less before they're going to be giving birth. So what we'll do is I'll talk you through each of the points to start with, and then I will say each of the sentences, and then you guys all tap and follow along with me, so I'll leave gaps in between. So the first one we have is the karate chop on the side of our hand, so right where you would do your karate. So this bit, just the fleshy part, and just tap on that point of your hand with a firm pressure, and you can use however many fingers feels right for you. So I usually use 2, whatever sort of naturally feels right. You're tapping firm enough so you can feel it, but not like really hard. So that's known as the karate chop. Then the next one is right on the start of our eyebrow, so where the hair starts on the bone, and that's just known as the eyebrow point. You will find the names are they thought a lot about these. You follow your eyebrow around to the side of your eye, and it's right on the bone, and that one's side of the eye. Then underneath the eye, under the eye, which is right on the cheekbone, directly under your pupil. And this is a fantastic one if you're feeling, if you're experiencing morning sickness or any nausea later on in pregnancy, because this meridian is linked to our stomach. So this one is fantastic for nerves, for sickness, just to be calming your stomach down physically. Then under the nose, on the chin, which is right sort of in a little dimple under your lips. And then the collarbone point, so you follow your 2 collarbones and then just drop 1 inch below and tap right in the middle, so where you've knot a tie. And then under your arm, so like where your bra strap would be, directly under the center of your armpit. And then last one, which is my favorite, is the top of your head. So you just take your right hand and just tap right. So it's a really bizarre technique. So a lot of people kind of just discount it because they just go, oh, it's too silly. So I'm going to cheat you the cheat version later on that you can do all on your hand. But it's quite nice to start off to have all of these points, because going round, you kind of get really immersed in remembering what you're doing, which is kind of part of the technique. So if you're really nervous about something, you distract yourself doing a technique, that is all helping as well. And I've put together a cheat sheet for you guys, so we'll put a link at the bottom of underneath the video so you can download that. Okay, so what should we tap on? So maybe just nerves of giving birth?
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
And then, yeah, so I'm sure if someone's completely confident, then they're probably not sat around watching YouTube videos. They'll be out and about having loads of fun. The rest of us, I have 9 weeks to go. I'm still a little bit nervous, and I'm obviously practicing all these things all the time. So we start off on the karate chop and just tapping there. Even though I'm feeling nervous about labour and birth.
I'm feeling nervous about labour and birth.
I accept myself anyway.
I accept myself anyway.
Even though
Even though
I'm feeling really nervous about my upcoming labour.
I'm feeling really nervous about my upcoming labour.
I accept how I feel.
I accept how I feel.
Even though
Even though
I can feel these nerves about birth.
I can feel these nerves about birth.
I accept how I feel.
I accept how I feel.
And then tapping around the point, so on your eyebrow point, I release these thoughts.
I release these thoughts.
Side of the eye. I let go of my concerns.
I let go of my concerns.
Under the eye. It's safe to let this go.
It's safe to let this go.
Under the nose. I can release and relax.
I can release and relax.
Letting go of these concerns.
Letting go of these concerns.
Collarbone point. Breathing and letting go.
Breathing and letting go.
Under the arm. It's safe to relax now.
It's safe to relax.
Top of the head. Releasing and relaxing.
Releasing and relaxing.
And then just take a really deep breath in through your nose. Breathing out through your mouth. Open your jaw. And just allow your mind and body to settle into the moment. And just tune into how you're feeling. Okay. So I forgot at the beginning, we were supposed to tune in with how nervous we were feeling before we
I
kicked
just
off.
forget that.
Oops.
Yeah, you can scale it. Yeah, on a 1 to 10, and it doesn't matter whether you go 10 is high or 1 is low or the other way around. But then you would then scale it afterwards to see how much you've come down on that scale. And ideally, you would just keep doing rounds until you've kind of brought it right down. Is that how you work?
So it's very much, sometimes with EFT, as we're focusing on something, our nerves or our emotions could go up because we're turning to look at something, we're turning to face something. So what you do is keep on tapping until that number started coming down, and then we'll do a positive round in a moment. So say you were at a 10 out of 10 for feeling really, really nervous. Once you've got that down to say about a 5, you can then use some positive rounds to kind of uplift you and counterbalance any fears that you have remaining. But how did you find, Susie, as we went round, as we were tapping around the point?
Do you know what? It's funny because I tap quite a lot personally anyway, but it's really lovely doing it with somebody else rather than just doing it by myself. It's really soothing. I mean, it's very, a lot of hypnotherapists, I've used it with some clients, and I know a lot of hypnotherapists use tapping in their therapy, and it's really soothing, particularly when you've got somebody with a really lovely soothing voice talking you through it. It's like, oh yeah, I feel kind of in a nice trance-like state. It's great. Thanks.
Well, let's do a little score now before we do the positive. So how relaxed are you feeling right now, with 10 being super relaxed and 1 being
I'm kind of up there. I'm like 8 or 9. It's not much though, it's not far to go. Really relaxed.
And if everyone watching does the same, just tune in, like how chilled you're feeling now, and then we'll do a positive round and see if we can just up that level. So as we're tapping, we're releasing oxytocin, endorphin, serotonin. We're just getting our body into the same state that you're getting into when you're listening to your hypnosis MP3s. We're just tuning in and we're inviting our body to release all of those hormones. Because whenever we're tapping, Harvard studies have shown that by tapping on certain points, we're actually telling the body that we're safe and affecting the hippocampus in our minds, which controls fear and strong emotions. So by stimulating these points, we're actually calming that part of our brains down and allowing us to go into this rest and relaxation response.
Yeah.
So let's up that a little bit more. So we don't need to do the
karate chop,
because that's just if we're working on a negative, we repeat that 3 times at the beginning, just to really hone in on what we're working on. So getting really clear in your mind of what it is that you want to shift. And we add that sentence on the end about accepting what is. So we're not trying to fight something and push it away. We're kind of inviting it to come, accepting it so that we can release it. As soon as we stop fighting something, it loses its power. And that's what we're doing with EFT. We're saying, like, even though I'm nervous, that's perfectly okay. And then we can just start tapping and allow that to change. So we can just go straight onto the point, so the eyebrow point. My body knows how to birth.
My body knows how to birth.
Side of the eye. I have all my hypnobirthing techniques to help me.
I have all of my hypnobirthing techniques to help me.
Under the eye, I can let go and trust my instincts.
I can let go and trust my instincts.
Under the nose, I can relax into this moment.
I can relax into this moment.
On the chin, my breath can calm and soothe me.
My breath can calm and soothe me.
Collarbone, I can do this.
I can do this.
Under the arm, I am doing this.
I am doing this.
Top of the head, my body knows how to birth.
My body knows how to birth.
And take another deep breath. So where are we? Managed to get you a little bit more relaxed?
Not quite horizontal, but it's good. Yeah, it's up there.
You can see with all of it, it's about using all of the affirmations that you're using during pregnancy. You can be just tapping them in and reminding yourself. And I think a really powerful thing that I've been working on with a client recently is to really be aware that our conscious mind, it's only between 5 and 10% of what's going on. Our unconscious is the 90 to 95% of it. And it's this part that all of our hypnosis and affirmations we're kind of storing up in there. And it's our unconscious which is going to be instructing our body how to birth. So even if we're having a wobble, that's like maybe 2% of your 5%, and the rest of you knows this stuff. Your body naturally just knows how to birth. You're learning all this stuff to help you, but really, you just get out of the way and let your body get on with it. So you can be tapping around that going, okay, conscious mind is freaking out. The rest of me is fine. I can do this. And you can just be tapping whatever language feels right for you. So should we do the cheat version? Which
Yeah.
Remember. So all of the acupressure points that we've done on our face and our body are repeated on our hands. So if you put your hand with your thumb facing the ceiling, pointing towards the ceiling, we just tap on the top of each thumb or finger where the nail and the skin meet. So right on the top, on that edge. So we just tap on each of those points. And we can just use you can either just tap and use it as a relaxation tool, or if you are feeling nervous, you can just tap and just be like, let it go.
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 Let it go. go.
Let it go.
And then you can tap on the top of your wrist, let it go.
Let it go.
And underneath your wrist, let it go.
Let it go.
And it's that simple. So when we're using this language, it's really about accepting something so we can let it go. So we're not going, let it go, let it go, let it go, and creating more tension. We're just accepting and then focusing on how whatever we're feeling, let it go, let it go. And it's all about, it's the same as with our hypnobirthing breathing, just about releasing. And that's what we're doing with this technique, is we're releasing whatever thoughts are going on and letting them go.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And just to reiterate around the language that's used, you can really use any words you like, right? Or you don't have to use any words at all. You can just think it.
Yeah. So if, say you're just feeling a bit nervous and you're not really sure why you're nervous, because sometimes that can be the case, just focus on the fact that you're nervous and tap. So you can either voice exactly how you're feeling and go, even though I don't know why I'm nervous, I accept myself anyway, or just tap on the hand points and just be like, I let the nerves go, I let them go. So it can be completely up to you, but don't let the language be a block, because any tapping you do, so just, I use this point quite a lot just on its own, just tapping here will just be calming my body down. So it's just a really nice, it's the same as taking 3 deep breaths. And I always say as well to everyone that you cannot breathe deeply enough at any point. The only time you should not be breathing really well is if you're underwater. The rest of the time, just keep on breathing, because whenever you take that deep breath, you're calming your body down, especially during pregnancy when our babies are moving up and our lungs are getting compacted. Just breathe as deeply as you can, and that will be calming you down as well.
Perfect. Right. Well, thank you so much. I'm feeling super relaxed. I'm ready to go for a bit of a break. Naomi, do you just want to let people know where's the best place they can contact you if they would like some one-to-one support?
Yeah. So people can go to my website, which is naomiwolfson.co.uk, and that's NaomiWolfson.co.uk. We'll put a link below the video if you would like a video of EFT. So I've made a generic one, which is just tapping on a worrying thought, and also a cheat sheet which shows all of the techniques. We'll put a little thing underneath so you can download.
Perfect. Right, well, thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of your pregnancy. For those of you who are watching this in April 2015, you'll also be able to see and chat to Naomi in the Calm Birth Yes Please Facebook group. So pop in and say hi. And for those of you who haven't signed up for our classes but are interested in hypnobirthing, please check out our free classes. There's loads of amazing content that can really help you to kind of start your journey on creating a really calm and positive birth experience. All you need to do is visit www.thecalmbirthschool.com/free hypnobirthing. And again, there'll be a link beneath the videos. So au revoir, my lovely lady, and enjoy the rest of your pregnancy.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Take care.
Bye.